I'm very fortunate because as soon as I picked up the camera, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. The gift of being a photojournalist and experiencing your community by carrying a camera and sharing the images of your fellow citizens and the events and the daily life of the people around you through photography is a fabulous medium. And I hope that this exhibit kind of helps people be a little slightly reflective on what a wonderful community we live in, and also see it through an artist's eye, because photography is just such a wonderful way to tell the stories of just everyday life and the special events that we all remember and aspire to. Like a lot of young people in my teenage years, I got my first paper route. And that was right here in Blacksburg. It was for the Blacksburg Sun, which was a twice weekly newspaper. And eventually I did also get a paper route with the Run-Up Times, which is a daily newspaper. And you know, I just remember the excitement that I felt when I would see that. I was one of the first people to see the newspaper in the morning, and it was just a thrill. Something that we had to do was the papers would print in two different sections. So you would have to take the B section and put it inside the A section. So you would actually do something was called inserting. So you would take B and put it in the A and create a huge stack of finished product. Then you would have to shuffle them, of course, and then you'd have to rubber band them, and then, of course, deliver them to the houses all around town. When I graduated from high school, I was so immersed in the newspaper business, and I had such a love for it that I really wanted to continue my career. And that's when I went down the street here in Blacksburg to John's Camera Corner, Gentry Studio, and purchased my first black and white film camera, an Olympus OM1. You know, as soon as I picked up the camera, I knew that this is what I wanted to do for a living. Just because when you look through the lens, everything changes. And you know, when you bring that camera up in front of your face, it opens doors. It opens a window on the world that you're able to record forever, and that's just a real special privilege. Photography has changed a whole lot, and it's more accessible now with our mobile phones and digital cameras. But in those early days, you know, I made black and white pictures with black and white film. You needed to have your own darkroom skills, so there was a dark room and a you know, light room where you would actually project the image through an enlarger onto photographic paper. And you know, that's been the one constant thing over 40 years, is all of this different change, and the way the medium has changed, the way the technology has changed, the materials. Even some of the ways I look at photography now is completely different than what I did back in those early days. You know, but there's a special appeal to some of these older images, some of the black and white images. You'll see it at the exhibit. You know, there's a handmade quality to them. And now I'm a digital photographer, like most people, and I carry a phone and I make photographs with my phone. And that's the way that we largely consume photography now, is through a digital medium. So it's really been fun to be a part of a movement where photography is just such a huge part of everybody's life. Photography is a way that you can experience a place and a feeling more deeply. You know, so sometimes we get preoccupied with the mechanics of photography, but I would challenge the listener to just, you know, what's inspiring you about this place, this time, the company that you have, the people you're around. Experience that feeling that you have, like, oh, this is a picture, and just take just a brief moment and just savor that experience while you're making the photograph. And I feel like it's my job as a visual communicator to try to interpret all the events and all the things that I experience that I'm able to capture with the lens, because a lot of things happen that I'm not able to get. But to try to boil that experience down into a digestible photo report, something that I can look at in, say 12 to 20 images and say, that was my experience of this, and I want to share that with other people. But at the same time, I don't want to overwhelm you with every single 1,200 images. That's a lot of pictures. And that's one of the challenges as a photographer and as a visual artist is selecting those precise moments. 40 years of newspaper, photojournalism, and the one word that comes immediately to mind is community. Because being able to share my images with the people that I live with, and make images of the people that I live with, and experience all all the wide range of experiences, the great, the good, the bad, the ugly, the rough. It's been about sharing, and it's been about art, and it's been about sincere love for the people. It truly has been, and I think everybody, you can't put out a newspaper by yourself, and you don't live in a community by yourself. And I just want to thank everybody that I've photographed all over the years, and all the great reporters that I've worked with who have these wonderful story ideas. And it's just been, and the people that share their stories so openly, so caring, and often it's people that understand that they have a story that's worth telling, and that by telling that story through photography, writing, publishing, journalism, it's a way to broaden the greater good. By sharing their story, they realize that they can impact other lives. And those when I think about the wonderful experiences I've had making photographs, I see the faces, and I hear the voices.